Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Super Saiyan Densetsu Doug.
We are the world's strongest under the heavens duo, here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. I actually been playing Pokemon Unite, because that just came out a few days ago. Really loving the game. Really frustrating when your team doesn't do what you want to do, but they're not mind readers, and the Nintendo Switch has no way of communicating that doesn't sound horrible, so that's what I'm limited to.
Just frustration town is what it sounds like.
I had to complete my dailies before 8 p.m. and we started recording at 7:30, and I'm like, yeah, I can win 2 matches in these 2 hours. Nope, it took me 2.5 hours. Like while we're watching, while we're readying for this podcast, I'm like in the middle of playing the game. Like I just need to win 1 game. Darn it,
man! It's got its hooks in you.
It does. It really does. It's really fun.
I do my dailies, but my dailies are learning Japanese in Duolingo. That's it. I've done it.
Oh.
I did it for a month solid. So I was like, all right, well, clearly I'm into this. So I'll start paying for the professional version.
Right. So not as productive as my day, but still, you're doing something.
No. Yeah.
That's good. You get out there sometimes.
Yeah. Nihongo wa hanesemasu. There we go.
If you say so.
It was really bad, and you can enjoy that. That's really great.
Impress me.
Thank you. Well, Doug, we're here to talk about Dragon Ball, and I know that we normally have one topic, but I've got a side topic I want to talk about real quick.
Oh, no.
We gotta talk about it. It's Dragon Ball Superhero.
How did I know? Oh, yeah! Dragon Ball Superhero.
It's a thing!
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm 100% down with this movie.
It's CG, though, and Dragon Ball is always 2D, though.
That took me about 30 minutes to get over.
Yeah.
Because we got something so beautiful as the Broli movie that I'm fine with it veering off and trying something new with a newer movie.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of 2D ones, so a 3D one, I mean, that's cool. I'm not sure if you or if our listeners follow Anime AJ, but... Fantastic guy. He put out a great video talking about his thoughts on things and like why this movie is the way that it is. I don't want to steal views from him, so you should go watch it, but TLDR, it's kind of just like one guy who's, part of like the Dragon Ball room that like makes all these calls, who's for a long time has said he wants a CG movie to be on par with like Western animation and stuff for Dragon Ball because he thinks that'd be really cool. And it kind of perfectly coincides with like all of the main staff that normally works on Dragon Ball is currently dealing with other projects like Dragon Quest Hero Die and other things. So it's like, we don't have any 2D animators available. So how about we do that CG thing I was talking about?
Yeah, it's worth a shot. And because already just from the teaser, it looks leagues better than Battle of Gods or Resurrection F, the CG. I hate CGI in any anime. Like I'm the person that you would think that would hate this the most, but yeah, I hate it to death. But with this teaser, I don't know. I got Kakarot vibes, the video game Kakarot. And that looked great, so why not have some more of that in a movie form? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love the manga style coloring, and yeah, the CG definitely looks like it's a good step up from where we were for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F.
And also, like, I think it was AJ, like, he released a version of it that someone, like, re-edited to make it more smooth. And that was that was not, like, well, there was a fan one and the official one from Toei, because the one they released during the stream when they revealed it, they got a bad copy, and that's why it looked all jumpy and jittery when they rotated around Goku.
That is the assumption that it's they just have it's a bad export of what it's supposed to be.
But no, I think they got their hands on the one from Toei officially, and it looks way better.
I thought it was a fan retouch to make sure that it.
Yeah, I think there was that, like the fan one, and then like a day later, the official one from Toei was out there, and it looked way better.
Huh.
So yeah, I hate CG more than anyone, but this looks fine. This looks like it can be good.
If I can love Beastars and its choice of CG, I will like
true.
this. So
that's true.
So long as we don't have a Berserk situation, because the TV show was bad looking.
I've seen clips from that, and that looks rough. That's what I mean by I don't. Yeah, I think that's the latest thing I've seen that was new to me that I saw in CG. I'm like, yeah, this sticks out too much, and it's pulling me out of the experience.
Yeah. And we've got kindergartner Pan. So, hey.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm so hopeful for the story in any case. Like, if it looks like ass, if it looks like I said in the tweet, if it looks like movie 6, at least we're getting a good story to go with it, though. So at least there's something saving it.
Look, Piccolo's got a house. Everything is fine.
Yes, he's got a house, a mailbox, a lake. Man.
What does Piccolo do in his downtime? Like, that's what I'm wondering.
I hope he's not just like meditating. I hope he's like found an actual hobby or something. Or maybe it's just taking care of Pan is his new hobby. Like he's just grandpa mode.
Yeah, that's his daycare center.
You know, he's like the same age as Gohan, but whatever. Like he still has that grandpa vibes now.
Exactly. And hopefully, if Pan has grown up, then Goten and Trunks better look older than 7.
I hope so. That was the most disappointing thing when Pan was born in Super. It's like, oh, we're gonna cut to Trunks and Goten. Nope, they're still 5 years old.
And I know that the plot intricacies don't really. There's not a thing you know about very much. But if Pan is kindergarten age, that means this movie takes place after the Moro and the granola stuff. So.
Well, that's going to be what are you mentioning food for? I don't understand these words you're saying.
Oh, yeah, well, Doug, Dragon Ball is full of food puns. You should know this from context.
Granola.
It's good stuff. Well, cool. We're excited. I can't wait to see more. I will definitely be seeing this movie day one as soon as I can because they've got me by the short and curlies.
I mean, I know all of us will. Even if the people that say they hate it, we still are going to watch it. It doesn't matter.
Of course.
It's Dragon Ball, so...
Exactly. I watched movie 6, so I will watch this.
I'm optimistically hesitant about the movie. Let's just put it that way.
There you go. Well, let's talk about a different movie, though, because the main topic then is, of course, we've been going through, we've been doing them all, we're doing them in order, so now we've got movie 8. Movie 8, baby. It's Dragon Ball Z Broli, the legendary Super Saiyan, or Burn Up, a red-hot, raging, super fierce fight.
Really? That was the title in Japan?
Yep.
Man, they really, just don't care now in 2021. Yeah, let's just call it Superhero. That's good enough.
That's fine. No, let's have a whole long-ass thing that is cool-sounding, but not explanatory of anything.
The new Broli movie is just called Broli, isn't it? Dragon Ball Super Broli.
They've gotten shorter and shorter. Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, Broli.
You gotta pick your poison. You just gotta go with the super long, undescriptive titles or the very basic titles.
Let the movie speak for itself. Just let the title just be a word. So a thing that I forgot that I haven't done for the last few movies is give a quick synopsis of what happens in the movie. So that way people know what's happening. So movie 8 is Vegeta travels to the planet New Vegeta in search of the legendary Super Saiyan, who has been destroying planets. Goku is also in pursuit of the legendary Super Saiyan, teleports to the planet, and Broly goes berserk. Goku must defeat the legendary Super Saiyan to save the universe! And, for context, this movie came out March 6th, 1993, which was right after episode 176, which Mr. Satan is on the scene and fighting Cell. Yep. The episode that would have aired after this is Goku's fight with Cell. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, and then also, like I said, the episode that aired before this movie was Mr. Satan versus Cell. The week before that was actually the Trunks special airing. So,
no way.
Yeah, some shit just happening back to back. Just big stuff.
A lot of focus on Trunks in that time area.
Well, I mean, he is the new hotness. He's there. He's the Bishonen pretty boy from the future who's got a pure heart and just wants some good old time with his daddy.
Yeah, that he kind of gets. Yeah, but I mean, from that to other. Well, I guess we'll get into it later on, but. Yeah, that's right. Character design, but...
Yeah, this movie is directed by Shigeyasu Yamauchi. He was the director of Dragon Ball Movie 4, which, of course, happens much further in the future than when this movie came out. Mm-hmm. He also moves on and does Z movies 10 and 12. So, the second Brolin movie, and then the Janemba one. Mm-hmm. And he also did a Dr. Slump movie. So, he's got some... Yeah, so he's already done some Toriyama stuff. He's got that under his belt. And also... This is the first movie where the animation is not helmed by Minoru Maeda, who's been there since the start. Now all of the character design and things like that is taken over by Tadayoshi Yamamuro, back when he was good in the 90s, hot take.
So this is the look that everyone's familiar with when they think of Dragon Ball Z?
Exactly. It's the whole late Cell stuff. It's Boo, it's GT, it's Budokai games, it's Super up until Broly.
That's why, since the Cell Saga was the height of popularity in America, That's what everyone associates, like,
This is the look.
This is the look. Whenever you see those posts from people on Reddit posting like, oh, this is what Super would look like back in the 90s, it's Cell Saga looking stuff.
Yeah, it's Tadayoshi Yamamuro style stuff. Or, a very specific animator from then, something that you would look at.
It is a really good style. Like it looks like awesome and solid.
Yeah. It's great. It's good. The shading is great, and like I don't know, the hair is sexy. It's good times.
Yeah, I think solid is the word that I would like stick with when I look at this. I think like it's solid.
Yeah. Let's get into the movie. Let's talk about it. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're gonna open up with a galaxy, and the whole ass galaxy gets exploded.
The whole galaxy, which
just a fourth of the universe.
So many questions regarding that kind of power it takes to do that.
Right? Like when we get to Cell fighting Gohan. His Kamehameha, he says, can destroy the solar system, which is a big deal. But that's far from a galaxy.
Though. And then Paragus' big plan is to kill Broli with a comet. Okay, dude.
Sure. All right, fine. Anyway, after we get that whole setup, it's a nice spring day, and everybody is out having a time watching the flowers bloom.
The sakura blossoms.
Yes, having some drinks, doing some karaoke.
Which I didn't know was an actual song he was singing. I just thought it was a song. I don't know. I never thought to think that he's singing an actual song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I didn't think about that either, because the reason why, like, I had brought that up while you were watching is because, he's singing his karaoke song, and I remember sitting in a theater watching Evangelion 2.22, and there's one battle where of course, like Evangelion, there's a life and death struggle, and there's just a nice, like, happy song playing. And it's not Mayumi Tanaka, it's a different singer, but
it's the song that Krillin is singing in the song. Oh my god. I
turned to the person sitting in the theater next to me, my friend, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the song that Krillin sings in movie 8, and they're like, shut up.
I thought you were going to say said to the person next to you who you never met before.
Oh my god, who are you?
This is the song Krillin sings in movie 8. Get away from me, you freaking weeaboo.
That also could have happened. Even if it was just one of my good friends, they also would have told me that.
Right, that's true. Well, like in the English version of the movie, I think the song he sings is just a bunch of gibberish words, so I never even thought to associate it as a real song. It's just Krillin singing gibberish words, but I don't know. Now that I think about it, that's the way I remember this movie. But now that I think about it, maybe I have to go back and maybe he is singing an actual song, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
He's definitely not, because then Yoroshi's like, yeah, Krillin, Sad Bunny, sing it, or something like that, and it's not real.
Interesting.
But that's more interesting that the Japanese one actually used the real song, and I thought that's a nice little touch.
I assume it is some well-known song because, it got used in something else.
I mean, if they dubbed it now in this time and day, they would probably put like a Beyonce song in there. I'd be down for that.
Ladies.
I was thinking, ooh, yeah, Krillin singing that.
I mean,
perfect timing for that era.
Right. Oh, man. But Goku's not there, man. He's not joining the party.
Nah,
He's
where
busy.
The heck is he at? Is he out being a father?
He's doing fatherly duties, and that he was
against his will
dragged to an interview for a nice school for Gohan by Chi-Chi. He's all suited up, looking all fancy.
He's freaking hating it and just like, well, yeah, you're wearing a gi under that suit.
Can't be comfortable. Not that many layers. Come on. And she's coaching him for all of the answers he needs to give. Like, his hobbies are reading and sports.
Yeah, which I just love that interaction. We don't get to see a lot of that, and it's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
he's
Chi-Chi
playing into the Chi-Chi role, but it's still good times.
Yeah, Goku went along with it. I mean, he's complaining about it, but he's still there.
Right.
You know? He understands that it's important. He just wishes it wasn't such a waste of time.
Important to Chi-Chi. I'm sure he doesn't understand why it's important.
He doesn't understand a lot of things, that poor country boy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for him, it's like the galaxy is in danger. Like, that's priority one. No, he's getting a good school.
Yeah, which if they finally get to their interview and then Goku starts talking to, the empty air.
He starts talking to Kaio, but only he could hear him. So
and then he just teleports away and they're like, is your husband a magician?
He's into reading and sports. Like, it's so great.
So he shows up at Kaio's place and Kaio will tell him what is happening after he gives him some food.
Convoluted plot.
Yeah. So he explains that there's a strange legendary Super Saiyan out there who destroyed the Southern Galaxy, and obviously that's a bad thing, and he wants Goku to take care of it, while at the same time at the party, spaceship full of aliens and a Saiyan named Paragus, who's like, hey, Vegeta, you're our king. You should come back and rule us all. That sounds great.
You.
I
made a planet for you.
I made you a planet. Please, Senpai, notice me.
Man, I wish the whole movie took place just in this field with like the pink flowers and everything, you know? It looks so beautiful and unique to Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah. It definitely would have been a really cool backdrop.
But then we go to this fake planet Vegeta that's just drab and everything and dull looking.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because it's a ruined planet, but yeah, you know.
Right. So Vegeta's like, yeah, I'll go to the new planet Vegeta with you. That sounds great. And
sounds better than hanging out with my son.
Trunks is like, this sounds like a bad idea, so I guess I'll come along to make sure nobody messes anything up. But of course, Gohan and Krillin and Roshi and Oolong get swept up into everything.
Yeah.
Roshi is drunk, of course.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know that in the English version, I think.
No. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's like, oh, I'm just having such a good time.
Yeah, this punch is delicious.
But it's kind of nice. I mean, gives having Roshi and Oolong coming along on this makes it give it sort of like a retro Dragon Ball feel of just like, hey, whoever's there is coming along on an adventure.
And it definitely alleviates the comic relief to just Krillin instead, you know? Like, it's usually just Krillin, but now it's Roshi and Oolong there, too.
Yeah. Goku is out doing his investigation, where he shows up to a ruined planet. He's like, the key that I felt is still here, even though he's gone.
Yeah, you're gonna mention this part? Yeah.
I do. It's so weird. This is not like a fact of key that we've ever talked about. And I don't mean to cinema sins this and be like,
yeah, but
this
you
is
and
a
I both
plot hole.
Brought it up. We're like, that's kind of weird that like Goku's like, yeah, the key left behind here feels so strong. I'm like, what are you talking about? How does key work like that in the Dragon Ball universe? I've never heard it that way.
Right. If you have to take a whiz, like, does your key still stick around there because that was a party? Like, what happened?
But I can't remember if it's Dragon Ball in general does it a lot, or if it's just the movies that does it a lot, or just takes the word key and just does it for anything. Like, like when Cell is powering up, it's like, that's Piccolo's key. No, wait, that's Frieza's key. You know what I mean? It's just all over the place.
I know that was in the manga and stuff, but like...
But I mean, I guess when it comes to ki, I'm sure there's a good explanation for it. How it's a thing that you and I don't understand fully. We're not martial artists or monks or anything. Yeah, there's probably a broader meaning for ki than we take it in just Dragon Ball. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, it was just something that struck the both of us. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I have in my notes here, Vegeta gets into his role real quick. Like, he's like, I'm the king and we're going out on expeditions now.
It's almost comical. It's just like, I'm the king now, so yeah, let's do what I say now. Like, let's go find this Super Saiyan, this legendary Super Saiyan.
He's never been in charge of people. I mean, not since he was a kid in like Nappa. So it's very strange to be like, yep, here I am. I'm king now, and I'm good at ordering people.
Like, I feel like Paragus should have been like, King Vegeta, we need you. And he's like, how troublesome. But then it cuts to when Vegeta turns away, and he's got like a big smirk in his face. Like, yeah, I'm the king now. Yeah. I have power. Like, that's what was missing in this movie.
Exactly. So Goku eventually catches up to them and is like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Also, hey, there's this big tall boy. What's your deal?" And then it's kind of like this very intense moment where I don't know why Goku is like on edge, but Broly is freaking out seeing
it's because of key, dude. It's because of
the key, dude.
He feels that key,
but that's okay because they're like, "Oh, dinner's on." So Goku's like, "All right, rad. I'm cool with that."
Hell yeah, I do the same thing.
Trunks and Gohan and Krillin go off and search for some answers because they're like, this feels real weird.
Yeah.
So
they're like, there's some sussy baka things going on around here.
That's very true. One thing that I'm kind of like interested for this movie is like, there's so many like mysteries that are happening. Like, where is this elusive legendary Super Saiyan, and what is the deal with this planet? Like,
well, that's what I was saying. Is that
weird?
This plot seems like it could be really good if it wasn't in Dragon Ball. If that makes sense. Like, it's just this is a very interesting plot point where there's a mysterious enemy out there that someone has recruited to come find, but it turns out it's been the person that they're recruiting with all along. You know what I mean? And there's this like the group B side of people that are going to figure out this mystery. You know what I mean? Like, and they find they slowly unravel what it is. I mean, but with Dragon Ball, there's no slowly unravel. It's just like they find it out within 5 minutes of what's going on. But
yeah,
there's a lot of potential there.
It's also very neat because I don't think we have a lot of Dragon Ball movies that have an A and a B plot, you know?
Exactly.
Where it's like,
not good ones.
Yeah, where this one group of people is doing this one thing while somebody else is doing this other thing, and eventually it'll all come together.
Yeah, they really should have done that more often with how many characters are no longer like strong enough to fight the super big bad guy at the end. There should always be like a B plot that actually has weight to it, and not just for comic relief, but just actual like there's a mystery going on, and this team's gonna go find out what's going on. Yeah, this movie, I don't know, I respect it for trying with the plot, but I don't think it works out in the end, the execution of it.
Okay, yeah, I would agree that I respect a lot of what this movie's trying to do, but I don't think that it nails it quite entirely. But
yeah,
you know, we've got a lot more of things to go through because we have some more weird like themes that we're going to toss into this salad of a movie, which is a big movie. All right. Yeah, is that Gohan and Trunks and Krillin come across slaves, alien slaves who have like overseers that are like cracking the whip at these people for not working constantly to make Planet Vegeta nice.
I just watched Thor Ragnarok, and it just reminds me of when Jeff Goldblum, his character is just like, whoa, I don't like that word, that slave word. It's like, let's call them prisoners with jobs. It's like, yeah, that's better. That's better. Like, yeah. It's so funny.
It's all about perspective, you see.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Gohan will kick the crap out of whoever's bothering old people and young people, just like, you know, when he saved
Dende. Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I'll put a stop to that, but we want to get some answers. Presumably, I can't remember. Do they just do this whole thing for the rest of the day? Because now it eventually becomes nighttime, and we've got Paragus who's like, Broly's resisting my control, and I need this thing fixed by the octopus that lives in my castle.
Yeah, they're just the Gohan and them are like feeding the aliens.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, taking care of them, and then it turns to nighttime, and Paragus is out there, like, I don't know, he's checking the status on the comet that's supposed to come and crash on Earth, and while Vegeta and Broly are away.
Right. And then eventually they come back and they all just crash for the night, like...
Well, this is where Goku and Broly meet for the first time.
Well, the other big thing that happens here is Roshi starts licking Oolong's foot. And I do want to stick with this for a while. I do want to talk about this for like an hour and a half.
Buckle up, folks. This is going to be the next hour of the podcast.
Oh, yeah. So these two consenting adults.
Yeah. Does it count if they're both asleep? That doesn't count as consenting.
I guess.
You guess?
That's
you better
true.
double check that answer, because
neither of them are neither of them are at fault then, because like neither of them are conscious.
Look at you trying to
I'm not trying to justify.
Yeah, justify this culture. Come on, man.
All right,
they should have had separate. They should have had separate beds.
There wasn't enough beds. This is how all fanfic starts. Oh no, there's not enough beds. Guess we'll have to share. Hope I don't start making out with your feet later. What? And then, you know, it just goes from there.
Yep, cut this entire thing whole out. Cut that out.
Oh, nope, it's staying. I just wanted to say that I'm going to edit it out because it's funnier that way.
It's so stupid.
So then, yeah, Broly shows up and ends the kink fest that's happening.
Broly hates bestiality, and so he's just like, I'm here to stop this shit.
Broly kicks down the doors like, I told you no foot stuff on New Planet Vegeta.
Goku misinterprets it and like just wants to fight Broly. A typical
He's
Goku.
Like, what do you mean no kicking? I can't kick now? No foot stuff?
Broly's the true hero of this movie, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He put an end to this abomination that's happening in this bed.
I mean, jeez.
So he's just, you know, he's gone a bit berserk, even though his control thing is supposed to be working. I have here in my notes that whole who is the legendary Super Saiyan mystery just kind of solves itself, doesn't it? They don't even need to look anymore. Broly just shows up and Goku's like, "Oh, I recognize this key now." Okay,
this is a strong Saiyan. I wonder. Saiyans aren't that common anymore.
So they have a little bit of a tussle. That's kind of fun. Broly's got some weird hair color things going on because I assume from the restriction that's happening, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's blue.
Aesthetically pleasing looking colors. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, he was the first one to go Super Saiyan Blue.
Exactly, you got it. Like he had to cycle through the colors to find out which one fit best, and he chose the one that explodes his body into a green aura.
We forgot to talk about Paragus and his whole backstory, explaining
like
story to nobody in particular. Yeah.
Well, actually, this is a very important part of the movie that I think a lot of people misinterpret, but yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I would love to hear what happens and how your view of people's interpretations.
I don't remember it well, but I was watching this movie with Sarah, YummyPixels on Twitter, and she really enjoys this movie because she kind of has a different take on it, where how Broli is going through like mental issues, like he has like a mental illness where it's a lot of coming from trauma that he had as a baby. Like as soon as he hears he's not mad because Goku made him cry. He's mad because crying like triggers something in his mind that was the start of his shitty life. You know what I mean? And so like that trauma just like stuck with him, and just since then his life's been shitty. He's been like destroying planets and just causing anger, like causing harm to his father and all this stuff. And yeah, that hearing Goku cry, or Goku at all, it just brings that back to him. And makes him snap.
I mean, it was I would say ever since the day he met Goku, his life has been shit, but also like that's the day he was born.
I guess so like all day.
So King Vegeta has decided that Broli is too strong and
a battle power of 10,000 as a baby. Forget that.
Baby, when little Kakarot there is just at a 2.
I know. It's God. Broly's over 9,000 already. This can't be.
It's true. He's already up there with, Saiyan Arc Vegeta and Goku. So it's wild how strong he is as a wee babe.
That is pretty unfathomable, to
put that in perspective, like how much work Goku had already put in. And this baby is like, I just flopped out. Guess who's stronger?
That's wild.
So obviously the only solution is to stab a baby.
Yeah.
Which
that's trigger number 1 for Broly's trauma.
Why doesn't he get freaked out around kitchen like dinnerware, like steak knife?
Because he's a baby, he doesn't have he couldn't really see, he can only hear, and he just hears Goku crying and then immense pain in his chest.
This is a good.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that yeah? It makes me appreciate it a little more.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
So we have dead baby, and then let's just throw his dad out in the trash too. And while that's happening, Frieza is having a party on the other side of the planet. And by party, I mean a lot of fireworks. Hell yeah. So Vegeta going boom boom. And thankfully Broly... I mean King Vegeta too. But thankfully baby Broly's so strong, he makes space bubble.
He made green space bubble that encompasses him and his father. It's just such a weird imagery too. Like if you like stop and stare at it, they're just floating away, a naked little baby and a Paragus just holding hands into the dark sky, space,
into the unknown, into the final frontier
of space. Yeah. Where no Saiyan has gone before.
So I guess Paragus is also very afraid of what Broly can do because he's been trying to control him this whole time, but also like he's afraid of him, but also is like, aha, a weapon. This is my way to get back at the frickin' prince for all of his shit.
Yeah, that's his main goal. Like he's just petty and just, I mean, for a good reason still, but still petty nonetheless to carry it for like 40 years or whatever.
Exactly.
The resentment so much towards someone's father that you're going to go after them. You know what I mean? Like Vegeta doesn't have anything to do with it. It's King Vegeta that did all this to him, and he's still like, I'm going to fuck over your son. That's how petty that is what I mean.
Yeah. Paragus eventually catches up and gets Broly under control and is like, can't do this anymore. You got to be a good boy now.
Yeah, I remember in the subtitles just like the scientist, like, oh, you have like a scientist on hand, I guess, or maybe he meant the squid guy or the octopus
squid
guy
man
that he had. Yeah,
I assume
he's had him for so long, but yeah.
I don't think that guy even has a name. Should really figure that out. And so then next morning, Vegeta, who slept through all of this, is like, gotta go on another expedition. I'm taking Broly with me.
He forgot how to feel out keys, so no one never noticed.
All of the loud explosions and things also wasn't waking him up. He's just tuckered out. Just a real tired king.
A lot of this movie has that, but right now, I think the movie is good enough where we can excuse that while watching it. We're just like poking fun at these moments, but it doesn't hinder the film, I think. It's just like us poking fun at it.
No. So they go out to do their expedition, but Goku's already there on the ship, hungry, and like, oh man, you guys taking so long. I haven't even had breakfast. Also, you don't need to go anywhere because the person you're looking for is right behind you.
It's right behind you.
And so now it's all out wartime, except for Vegeta, who's lost all desire to fight because he's like, oh no, the Super Saiyan is real. Yeah. And he's strong, and I'm scared.
He's such in disbelief or like in awe awe. He just can't handle it.
And then, Broly kind of cuts loose and he explodes into a whole new form of power and time to wreck shop with all these other blonde boys.
Going back to the Vegeta thing, I think this is where I'm talking about where this plot would be great, but I don't think it works well with Dragon Ball, or at least how Dragon Ball does it, because they could have been a big thing about how Vegeta is such an awe, but for us, the viewer, it just feels like, why are you doing this, Vegeta? You know, like, you can handle this. It's not anything. Stop, swallow your pride, or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But in Dragon Ball, it just doesn't work that well. But it could work amazingly where Vegeta's just generally awestruck that he was with this guy this entire time and he was fooled. But we don't really dive into that well.
No, yeah. It's just kind of him on the sidelines like, oh, I can't believe it. Why are they fighting? Oh, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Fights continue. I mean, like, I don't really know how to talk about fights. And the fight just kind of goes on.
It's really drawn well and a lot of, like, awesome moments. Oh,
yeah. That's true. We got a lot of really great moments. We've got Super Saiyans all over the place. Trunks is there with his beautiful long hair, and he just destroys that coat.
Looks fucking sexy as hell. It's ridiculous.
And Gohan's blonde now. He's a Super Saiyan, just like his papa.
To see that in this movie, like at the time the movie came out, was so amazing. Like to see that drawn so well, to see Gohan as a Super Saiyan. I don't know. There's something special about this time period, and it just brings me back to the memories of the Cell Saga and just like the height of popularity and height of my love for the show too. It's just so great.
Oh yeah, it's such like this magical point in the series. I think, especially for fans like us,
because everyone loves Gohan at that age. Everyone loves Trunks at this age, and it's just the show hasn't been super diluted by so many Super Saiyans yet. All the Super Saiyan, all the Saiyans that have come into the plot so far have kind of made sense. It's Goku and Vegeta, and then Gohan is one because it's the son of Goku, and then Trunks comes along, and that's the big surprise. Like Trunks is a Saiyan. Oh, it's Vegeta's son. Okay, cool. And then Paragus and Broly show up. That's where it's like huge. Like, whoa, there were other Saiyans out there. I don't think in my mind while watching the show did I ever go, whoa, there's another Saiyan out there when we were introduced to Vegeta or Trunks, It was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it just made sense. But when Broly and Paragus came around, it's like, whoa, other Saiyans.
I think there's something that I didn't think about until just this moment, which is Paragus is not impressed by anybody else being a Super Saiyan versus, because I'm thinking Dragon Ball Super Broly, he's very like, whoa, what's going on? And they're all Super Saiyans, and of course Frieza's like, wait, are you telling me that Broly can't do that?
Right, exactly.
So it's just...
Well, no, that makes sense because Broly has never become a Super Saiyan. In this movie, he has. He's been a Super Saiyan since his teenage years.
Well, I mean, he's like... Of course, he's the legend, so that makes sense. But what are these other people doing with this kind of power and this transformation? There's no thing that's like, I thought it was just my son.
No, I think if you're with Broly for that long, if you're with a cosmic being that has that much power and that much strength for that long... Nothing really surprises you in that same aspect. Like, I guess these guys are Super Saiyans too, but I know mine is fucking wild. My son is the legendary one.
He doesn't even have anything to say about the child who is able to be a Super Saiyan. Just like, I guess I'm unable to do any of that. I've just got one eye and a fucking bracelet.
Well, I guess, if we're looking for answers within the universe, I guess, and I don't think it says it in the movie, but I'm sure Paragus kind of stalked out the gang from a distance.
Oh.
Before, getting a planet all together, building a fake city for Vegeta to be tricked by. So he probably got surprised off screen that there were others that they could turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's fair. So we have all these really rad fights. Of course, like any Dragon Ball movie, Gohan is in danger. Piccolo gets to show up, which is actually fortuitous, not just to save Gohan, but also like everybody else is kind of wrecked. So he's like, I also brought Senzu.
Yeah, I brought Senzu. Senzu was like the best thing I could think of. Like, I'm sure video game designers were so like, oh yes, we got Senzus. That's an easy item that we can throw into our video game. Like that's
our health potion. It's our elixir.
Exactly. Our Phoenix down.
I want to talk about Paragus because he's at this point he's like, well,
you're the only one then.
Yep, I gotta leave because my whole plan has kind of gone to shit now, and his plan is real weird. He wants obviously revenge. He wants revenge on Vegeta for a thing he didn't actually do, and in order to do that, he doesn't want Earth destroyed, because Earth is what he really wants, because it's a really nice planet. So he doesn't want that to be a battlefield. So he's going to tell Vegeta, hey, let's go to my planet, but then not kill him there or have a fight. Instead, I'm going to take you on this whole wild goose chase while I wait for this comet to come. And then somehow you won't be able to do anything about that. There are spaceships that you could get away on, but you're going to get hit by this comet and die. And then I'll go hang out on Earth.
Yeah. Because not like you can see a huge comet heading your way.
Right. And then why not just turn the switch off on Broli when they're alone and then just have Broli murder Vegeta real quick?
If Broli has this much power, he should be able to take care of Vegeta no problem. But then I made the decision, not decision, what am I looking at? I made the theory.
You made a point. Yeah.
I made a point that using Broli on that level of strength is his last resort. Paragus doesn't want to unleash that Broli no matter what cost, because he can't control it after that. So he's not trying to do that. And he thinks that maybe Vegeta's too strong to battle Broli at his controlled state. He'd have to let Broli unleashed, and he doesn't want that.
Yeah, that's true. Once he's unleashed, he can't get releashed.
But a comet, that's the thing that's gonna destroy Vegeta? I don't think so.
Which I think is really kind of neat in that it's a comet that's going to come and destroy new Vegeta, when Raditz had told Goku that it was a comet that destroyed their original planet, where we eventually figured out that it's Frieza. But I'm like, wow.
Maybe that was intentional, because if it is, then that'd be really cool.
I feel like it is.
I think this whole, again, I keep saying this, but the plot would have worked if maybe it was regular humans, like an aliens type of situation, but with these Super Saiyans that, destroy galaxies and planets. A comet coming for you doesn't seem like that big of a threat. However, if it was like the movie Aliens, like just regular humans, it'd kind of be like, oh wow, the actual comet's coming. That's genius. That's a great plan.
Yeah,
but you have a fucking Saiyan that can kill whatever. So yeah,
I don't think a comet is really going to be the thing that's going to take them out. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, I have here in my notes, as the fighting continues, Trunks Masenko. That's so fucking cool, side by side with Gohan.
So cool, man. That's the coolest. And I definitely didn't think about that when I first saw it. I was just like, that's kind of weird. Or I don't even know if they said Masenko in the dub. I think they might have, but I didn't think much of it. But I'm like, yeah, of course that makes sense, because Trunks was taught by Gohan, who was taught by Piccolo. Like, that totally makes sense.
And it's so cool to see them back to back doing that. I mean, obviously it's not the Gohan he knows, but
that makes it even better, I think. I think that makes it even better.
Yeah.
Man.
It's what he always wanted to do, fighting side by Gohan. And here he is. He's doing it. And they're both doing the same attack. They're in sync.
Well, I think this Trunks is so far removed to this Gohan. I think he feels very differently, because I don't think he gets the same emotion. I don't think he sees him as his Gohan. You know what I mean?
No.
From like little hints throughout the show, it doesn't feel that way.
I don't think we get any of that until Super, during the Goku Black stuff, where he's like,
that's what I was thinking too, when because Trunks uses Masenko then as well. So we get a little bit of that fan servicey thing there. But I'm glad they did that in this movie. If they couldn't do it in the show, I'm glad they did it as a little fan nod in this movie.
So while everyone is kind of chilling out, eating some beans.
Chilling out? I was going to say they're getting massacred. Everyone's just chilling, popping a beer, having a good old time.
They got to have a minute to pop a bean. Paragus is trying to make his getaway before Broli shows up, and he's like, oh, are you trying to escape? No, this is our spaceship. We're doing off together. And in a single seat pod, and he just crushes it and then spins around a few times for chucking it into the comet.
You love that spin he does. The spin Broli does. He's throwing a discus at the Olympics. Just like 1, 2, launch.
Yeah, I'm like, no, he's just having a good old time. This is his idea of fun.
It just completely crushes. And Paragus says something weird like, oh man, the destiny of a Saiyan is to be killed by his son. I guess that's normal. Like, that's something, not verbatim, but kind of what he says.
I believe that comes up in something else at another point, too, and I'm like,
I think so, too.
I think that's ever been a thing.
And it's never been a thing, but they keep saying like it is.
Like, oh, how, that's very Saiyan of you. Like, is it?
Yeah. Man,
we're never shown that, other than this one instance.
Yeah. I feel like we're, missing some context here.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole background of information that somebody wrote, but we didn't get to see.
Like Toei, is pulling from this book that has Saiyans are like this. But no one has seen that outside that book, so
yeah. But now it's fight time because Goku's back in it, and he's ready to duke it out. And Vegeta,
to do it.
Vegeta's finally snapped out of it after Piccolo drags him by the hair.
Piccolo grabs his fucking head of hair and just like tries to talk him into it.
And then he gets into it. And then he's flying in after breaking out of it and like even yells at Trunks, like, stop dawdling. Get
it
in
was
there.
just so funny. Like, you fucking Vegeta were just chilling the entire time, and he just goes past Trunks. Stop taking it easy. Get off your lazy ass. Like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, come on. Jeez, hypocrite. More fights happen, and Vegeta loses, Trunks loses, Piccolo loses, Gohan loses, but Goku, he's sticking with it, but he wants more energy because he can't do it on his own. So
he needs the Toei a punch. He needs to charge that up.
He's like, guys, remember that sweet new religion that I joined thanks to Takao Koyama? Everything shares energy, and I need you to share it with me. Not for a Genki Dama. That's a thing that we already do, but if you just give it to me.
Yeah. I know how to harness that power now. I don't need a Genki Dama.
So it keeps him conscious and like able to keep getting hit and stuff, but it's not enough to do anything until Vegeta finally gives him the power.
Gives him some natural BO.
Yeah, these weird green stink lines, which is a visual choice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets enough power to Toei punch Broli into oblivion. And they're like, all right, well, let's teleport off of this exploding rock that's being hit by a comet.
Yeah.
And they all land on Piccolo's ship that Roshi and Oolong had already taken, as well as they brought along all of the slaves, which is good.
Right.
And everything's back to normal. Goku comes back home and tells Chi-Chi that his hobbies are reading and sports.
What a great way to tie it off.
The thing that I have here is let's not at all wish back the Southern Galaxy or planet Shamo, the home planet of those slaves that Broly blows up in the film.
Yeah, man. That's not our problem. That's
yeah. We saved the day.
That's
Solve your own shit.
Southern Kai's problem, isn't it? Like, that's, he fucked up. He's dead.
Yep.
Oh, he's not dead, actually. They make fun of our Kaio for being dead.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's not guarding anything anymore. His fucking galaxy's dead.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, we'd already talked about, like, we felt like this movie could have been good if it was in different circumstances.
Yeah, you were saying it could have been better if it was longer, which I agree, but this movie's already long enough as it is.
Maybe cutting some stuff out. I think it's like we're touching on like slaves and a couple of mysteries that are happening at the same time and this revenge plot. And
but that should have worked though. That should have worked if it was longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either be longer or remove some of these aspects so that way doesn't feel so cluttered and just like moving at a breakneck speed.
Like, because I really do feel like they really did care about the story and they were trying something new. It wasn't a typical retelling of a prior Dragon Ball Z enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say A for effort,
yes.
A for creativity,
yes.
C+ on sticking the landing.
Yeah. It's hard to execute something as ambitious with the medium of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's very good, like, the root story here of like, oh, there is a legendary Super Saiyan out there and he is insane with power because like it's too much.
It is. I think it's still a pretty good movie and it just looks amazing. The fight scenes are they have so many great moments, the glorious moments that looked awesome and feel awesome. Like you really feel like Broly is a humongous freaking beast.
Yeah,
like, I think there's huge.
Maybe only 2 moments we were like, oh, that drawing's weird. But then other than that, it's just nonstop gorgeous. So
I love when Broly comes out of buildings, like to surprise Goku and them, and like he just grabs Gohan and like smashes his head through the side of an entire building and throws him. Man, it was so great. Like this movie looked awesome.
Hell yeah. Fights are great. We got just like, I don't know, some really cool designs, like the octopus dude and like the tiny
unique
slave
stuff.
aliens.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I really wish Sarah was. I asked her to be on the podcast, but she was too busy. She really had like an interesting take on this movie that I just can't remember because it was like 3 or 4 years ago that we watched it. But yeah, like she made me appreciate the movie more. Hey guys, quick little insert here. I was talking about how a friend of mine named Sarah kind of changed my mind on movie 8, and I was able to get her on chat with me and talk about the movie a little bit. So everyone welcome Sarah, aka YummyPixels. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
Good.
Well, you and I watched this movie together about like a few years back, and it's back when I hated the movie.
Yeah.
But you brought up like a different perspective that really changed my mind on it, and I wanted to bring you on so we could talk a little bit about that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that like blew my mind. Like I was sitting there just with mouth agape, like, oh my god, you're right. You're right. He isn't just a stupid kid crying about Goku.
Well, I mean, I have my opinions on it all, but I'll try and do my best to recall the conversation.
I was going to say, do you remember? Because I don't remember. That's the whole reason why I wanted to get you on, but I don't even know if you remember either. It's so long ago, but...
I mean, and since then, the new movie has come out, which kind of like, I love that one so much more.
Oh my god, yeah, it trumps it so much.
Yeah. But I think the original, it's a classic and it's got its place. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Awesome. So the Goku and Broly crying scene, what's your take on that?
Okay, so, and again, this might not be exactly how you remember me talking about because I've learned a lot since then.
Ooh.
Actually, a lot of people get upset with the whole baby crying thing, and then they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I am one of those people. Like, I got frustrated. I'm like, this is stupid. Right. It doesn't make sense. But when you actually are crazy and you watch the movie as many times as I've seen it,
when you have obsession with Broly, yeah, no, I gotcha. When you have a life-size Broly statue on pre-order,
that's true, guys. But you start to notice things, and I think what I noticed was, and one, just to dispel the myth, babies can actually experience trauma. So they, people don't think infants remember things, but they actually do. And
yeah, see, I mentioned that during the podcast, but like as I'm saying it, that Broly had trauma, I'm like, but he's a baby. But you're saying that babies can.
Yes, they actually can. And interestingly enough, the reactions that babies and toddlers have to trauma, one of them is giving the appearance of being numb and not showing their feelings. And does that not sound just like Broly in his base form?
Well, that and even as a baby, he wasn't crying with Goku. He was just kind of like sitting there numb, just like kind of like looked like he was being hurt by it.
The baby becomes numb and like he can't show their feelings, and they feel like cut off from everything that's happening around them. Then they also have a loss of their ability to develop cognitive skills at the rate that they should be. Like their brain development slows down because of the trauma.
Oh.
So you actually see like a decline in that. And so if you think about it, like, this is going to sound terrible, but like I feel like Broly in that movie was just a giant man-child. Like he was stunted. Yeah. And then if you look at, and then as soon as they got out of that crappy situation, Paragus and Broly, Paragus starts conditioning his son. He doesn't give him the space to even like emotionally develop at such a young age. Paragus is conditioning him, telling Broly, like, spoon feeding him, you are a tool.
Yeah,
you're a weapon for destruction. He's not giving him like feelings or any of that stuff. So
he's not letting him express it. Wow.
Yeah. So if you think about that, and if you think about like in real life, like when someone has a traumatic event, and then later you call it PTSD, things can trigger people, right? Goku's voice is simply a trigger. It's not that he hates Goku. It's that sound triggers that trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of how I started to interpret it. And then
and then when he gets older, like and he just explodes, like literally and mentally, like he just explodes. Like he breaks free of control of his father and just unleashes crazy all at once, you know?
Yeah. And then if you think about this too, if he's already got like this severed mental state that has just been, he's been jacked up since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And thanks to his father too. So he's got this weird thing where his father is actually kind of causing Broly to have split personalities, because when he starts to get angry, he's doing the Pavlov's dog thing and telling him no, shocking him and making him calm down.
Oh.
So if you think about him when he hit that trigger of feeling Goku's ki and like the cry and whatever, that trigger when it set off and he went powered up, that it was gone. He was gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Dang, you're
and
right.
So and if you actually think about how they set it up in the Well, I guess to all the listeners, I'm talking about the Japanese version. I did not do dub. So
Oh,
in
you're
in
in
the
familiar territory there with us. Trust me.
so from the Japanese translations, like they don't ever say they don't ever say specifically that, oh, Broly's reacting to Kakarot's crying. They don't say that.
Yeah.
Instead, what they're showing and what it happens in the dialogue and the subtitles is Paragus trying to figure out what's happening, and it's kind of like Paragus's train of thought. And so
Right.
he's
It's
saying,
not just cut dry.
yeah,
Like it's just,
he's
oh, it's just the
going,
crying.
he goes, oh, Broly
Is it
must
Goku's
remember.
trigger?
He goes, Broly must remember. I should have written this down, but he like said how he can't he remembers. It was just kind of him trying to figure out what was happening, and it was
Yeah.
never saying like black and white, this is what is the cause. Rather, he was saying two strong sands have met, and that's like it wasn't even. I mean, when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think anybody in the movie is actually saying that's what's happening. They just aren't making it clear that.
Well, yeah, that's why this movie is written like it's written so well, but I don't know how executed well it was. You know, like
Yes.
they really had the motive to want to write a good and interesting, unique idea, but I don't know how well they executed it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's the thing. It's like they just kept using that scene over and over, that flashback.
Yeah, yeah. And it was really cool to get like that backstory a little bit on like the Saiyan planet, because we see like King Vegeta and like him actually being a king, because usually we just see him getting wrecked by Frieza being the peon, but you see him like actually like authority and like, no, Paragus, you're banished, you're dead, your sons, we're gonna kill him. And yeah, it's wild. What do you think about Paragus' last words when he's getting crushed by Broly? He's like, oh, I guess this is the destiny of a Saiyan to be killed by their own son. Isn't that weird though? Like, was that a thing?
No, it's not. No. If you think about this, think about how the Saiyans are portrayed, like, and not just in the Broly movie, but like the flashbacks we got in that Bardock movie, and they're portrayed as this savage race that survives off of planetary destruction. You know,
they don't really care about their sons. It's just like whoever's strong.
Yeah, remember, you know, in the original Bardock movie, how
now we have to say original. The original Bardock.
He was like, you know, my son's weak, and he just ran by. He didn't care. He was like, whatever, this one's useless. So, and then in the new movie, in the Dragon Ball
Super Broly
movie, yeah. In that movie, Guinea says to Bardock, wow, this is so unlike a Saiyan to care about their child.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you take all of that and think about it, Toriyama wrote the Saiyans as these savage creatures. And that's why it was such a shock that Goku hits his head and he becomes this gentle Saiyan, because it's not in their nature. And every Saiyan we've met, Raditz, Vegeta, from the beginning, they are there to terrorize. They are there to destroy, to conquer. They don't,
they're just savages.
We watched Vegeta murder his teammate right in front of everybody.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Exactly. Yeah, it's just complete savagery. And even Toriyama himself, in one of like the later interviews, like way after he finished Dragon Ball, he mentioned how Goku doesn't really feel romantic love in a sense. Like he just sees Chi-Chi as a really, really good friend. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if that's something he said that has something to do with them being a Saiyan. That's just like not in their gene, not in their code to kind of feel that. I'm sure Goku kind of caught past that and does kind of feel something, but I
think they can evolve.
Yeah, especially if anyone, Goku, definitely, because he was raised on Earth and all that stuff. But yeah, he had to fight the Saiyan in him to do that.
And knowing that like Toriyama was involved more in the Broly Super movie, he also had Paragus was kind of not the best in that movie either.
I liked his portrayal of Paragus in that movie too, because you get more of like, oh yeah, Paragus is actually an asshole, but like, you see where he's coming from. Whereas in the original Broly movie, he seems really petty. Like, it's just, I'm gonna kill the son of the king who banished me, even though he had nothing to do with it. You know, it seems a little, it's not executed well. But in the Super Broly movie, we could just...
Well, and you watch him again, like Paragus murders
another Saiyan.
Right in front of him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there's not enough food for all of us? Well, murder.
Yeah, that's wild. It really says more about Saiyans.
Yeah, if you think about all of that, I think Paragus's death in the first movie makes sense. I think it was him. It's so reminiscent to what happened in the Super movie too. Yeah. When he's like falls to his knees after he finds out the remote control is destroyed, he falls to his knees next to Frieza and is like, this is the end, basically. I can't control my son anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's gone, and and
he's just a monster of destruction, so we're doomed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
wow, that does make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think. If anyone is to go back and watch movie 8, I think they should follow it up with the new movie, or watch that one first and flip flop, because there's so many callbacks to that movie.
Yeah,
not even just in the story, but like even in the animation. Like there are scenes where it's like, if you were to think of them as like a panel of a manga, like there are panels in the movie that are almost cut and paste from the original, just with different characters. Yeah,
I'm thinking of the power up scene where he's like buff for the first time, and I remember that
so
shot.
Many, where if you put them side by side, you're like, oh, what an epic like call!
Really,
they're like throwback. Yeah, because I think Toriyama respected that movie, even though it wasn't his script.
Right.
I think he wanted to, he respects the fans' love for Broli and all that.
They definitely created an iconic character.
Yeah. So, you can hate movie 8, but like, I think respect it, one, for the animation. It's a gorgeous movie.
Oh my God. Yeah. I gushed about that during the podcast proper. Like we were just like, this movie looks amazing compared to like movies, even 7 and especially movie 6. Movie 6 looked like complete garbage going back to it. But yeah, this movie was like they were at their peak, like Cell Saga type animation. It was great.
Yeah. And it was the first time we're getting to meet somebody else that's not Vegeta. We were meeting other Saiyans.
And it wasn't as overblown, like as oversaturated as it is now. Like there's so many Saiyans, but Broly really felt like, oh my God, this is a new Saiyan. This is the first time. It feels crazy.
Yeah. And I think it was the first time they were talking about, this legend. They were really like trying to delve into the legendary Super Saiyan. Like, because I don't know the timeline. It came out before. When did it come out? As far as if you were to like stick it into the Dragon Ball timeline.
I think the anime, at least, I think it was during the 7-year time skip is when it released in theaters.
Trunks was there.
Yeah, I forget the manga, but obviously a little later, probably during the Cell games. I'm not sure. I know Randy mentioned it during the podcast, but I forget. I don't know when it was, but
okay, yeah. So I think everyone's got this thing in their head, like, oh, we're all Super Saiyan now, blah blah blah. That's before.
Yeah. So I guess they had to introduce a legendary
so
form.
It was like, wait, can everybody just turn Super Saiyan, and this is what we should be scared of?
Right.
And if you like the transformation, like it kind of made you wonder if any Saiyan were to reach that, would they lose their sanity? Is that is there so much power? I think you see that in comic book things too. Like, it's like an enemy that sucks up. Well, I don't know if we can say do we have to say spoiler warning? Think about like Cell when he got too much things and was going to blow up, or Moro also doing the same thing. Like,
I haven't read Super, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It's just like, if you think of enemies taking in too much power.
Well, that's what I liked about...
It's like a trope.
I liked about Super Broly is that I think Paragus kind of explained Broly turning into a Super Saiyan or some next buff up, as him harnessing the Uzaru form, but just in still a human form.
I loved that.
You remember that? Yeah. So that's
the rewriting of that was amazing.
It's so good. So it's exactly what you're saying. Is that like Uzaru basically when you're not trained is just a crazy monster with sanity. Nothing but destruction. Yeah.
Which I think that was Toriyama's way of writing it to make sense. And if you apply that logic to movie 8, it makes sense that he's completely insane when he transforms.
Damn.
And why he's so strong.
You did it again, Sarah. You got me. Wow, yeah. See, I needed you on because I was saying kind of what you were saying, but not as articulate as you put it. And
well, I tried. I mean, I think the first time I did have a better way of talking about the whole baby scene, but I since then I have learned that whole thing. Like, it's crazy what our brains remember. And then what our brains do as a response to trauma, even as
a baby, yeah.
Mm-hmm, our brains try to protect us. So if you think about that from the beginning, like if you just are like, oh my gosh, from the beginning, he was thrown, he was stabbed, he was
His life was shit from day one.
And then suddenly, and then his father is not in a healthy mental state. He's got vengeance on his brain, and he's controlling him with a collar or a tiara, actually, in that movie.
That's true. And, it would have been another story if he was just kind of living a regular life off planet. But he wasn't. He was being used as a tool.
Mm-hmm. He had no, everyone always says he has no depth. They didn't give him any character. I'm like, because there isn't any. The poor thing had no, he wasn't given the opportunity.
Exactly. And that's the point, right? That's the point, that he has no character. That's what people make fun of him for, but that's the point. He's that
numb, he's empty, and the only thing inside of him, the only thing that is it's like dog fights or something. A dog that's only ever been trained to fight will not love you if you let it out.
No emotion, no nothing. Yeah, exactly.
It's just gonna attack you.
Damn.
Because that's what it feels love off of. That's what it thrives on. So
that's what's been grown to know. That's all it knows, basically.
Yeah. So of course he's going to kill his dad.
Damn.
You know, he's a source of pain, and in his eyes, he's a threat. He's a challenge. You know, nothing can stop me. I'm gonna because he has like the mentality of like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, basically. Man. So. Well, thank you, Sarah. That was, definitely eye-opening. I'm so glad I got you on to explain that. Before I let you go, do you have any opinions on the teaser for the new Dragon Ball Super Heroes movie?
I do.
Oh, no. Let's go.
I'm not. I was kind of disappointed with what they teased us with. I like Piccolo.
That's all you're gonna say. I like Piccolo.
It's cool. It's cool. He's got a house, I guess.
I hope we can see it in 2D. You know,
I don't know who those little characters were. The number
1 and 2. Yeah,
these are the villains. I'm hoping it's one of those things where it's like, this isn't my final form. But if
they'll be like an Ava and a Kato type thing. Yeah,
I'm hoping they're more like Jacko or something.
Yeah,
I hope they're like.
I hope so too. Like they're just kind of like either the henchmen or just like a third party.
Yeah, and then Pan is adorable.
I love all the fan art that people are drawing Piccolo and Pan together. It's so great.
So, the part that I'm excited about is if she's that old, please tell me.
Trunks and Goten. I know. We've been waiting for so long. I can't. I'm loving the fan art of that too. People drawing them a little aged up. We need that.
I'm excited for that.
Give me a history of Trunks, aged Trunks. That's all.
Yeah.
Just a little taller.
They just didn't give us enough for me to get hyped about it. It wasn't.
No.
And then the little the trailer, the animation.
Yeah, the CG part.
Yeah,
it was rough, dude. I hate CG whenever they've used it in Dragon Ball. It looks horrible in Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and even in the Broli movie, it just looks so bad. But I kind of am okay with this teaser because it kind of looks like Kakarot, the video game, and it looks like the cutscenes from that, and those cutscenes were fucking awesome. So I'm hoping it's kind of leading more towards that. And
and I agree. Those cutscenes were great, and Fighters is gorgeous too.
Yes, Fighters too. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, but, both of those things.
I think the one that's online that we see a lot is I think apparently Toei gave Comic-Con a wrong frame rated version of the teaser. So we didn't get to see it. It looked all choppy to us, but then they released on their official site, I think, a less choppy version that it's going to look like. So that helps a little bit in that aspect.
Yeah. And again, what I did appreciate was as an artist, the outlining was a lot better in that snippet than it was in the Broly movie.
Yeah.
So in the Broli movie, when they cut to the CG, it was very apparent, and then they didn't take the time to do the pencil stroke over top of it.
That the whole movie had, you know.
Yeah, and that's how you make CG blend in, is by at least outlining it. And then they didn't do that, especially in that one scene where they break through
the universe barrier. Yeah. Man, and
one they should have outlined it.
We didn't get Broly ripping off his shirt. We had to settle for it in CG. It didn't look cool, you know. He still had his armor on, but then he broke it off in that CG-ness. I'm like, oh, that was disappointing. It could have looked so cool.
But the thing with this little snippet is they did outline him. He's got nice pencil outlines.
Yeah.
Or at
let's
least
let's hope it
reminiscent
resembles
to hand drawn.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
as long as they do that, I'm okay with CG.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
And like I was saying during the podcast, I was saying that we got a fantastic looking movie with Super Broli. I'm fine with them trying something new with this CG-ness. Like, we already got a really great looking movie. I'm fine with them trying a new kind of format. Like, this will be the CG movie, and let's see.
And honestly, like, we're all starved. We're just starved for
We
content.
need something
like,
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're giving us like a slice of life type one, I'm 100% down with a slice of life. For that. Sure. Just
like,
give me plenty of Piccolo and Pan. Like, I want that. Just all that. It'd be so great. Some Gohan in there. It would be great.
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
Man.
Gohan needs some love. I hope he's not.
Yeah,
you know,
I wonder which Gohan we'll get. There's so many different like muscle variations of him now. You know, like the end of Z kind, where he's like buff but still like mature.
Please do that.
There's a super skinny one from I think Resurrection F. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Something in the middle. I'd be fine with. You know, just.
Yeah, middle of the road, I'm fine with. I am bummed it's not. I mean, I just want to see the manga continue into the anime. Like, it would be nice. But I don't know if we're ever going to get that. You know, like, I want to see them. I don't know.
Like,
I want to see it animated. I want to see Moro. Yeah, like, I just want to see them start following Toyotaro's stuff.
Yeah. Well, Randy's trying to force me to read the Super manga, but I'm.
Oh, you got to. It's really good.
I'm holding off until they all come out so I can like just binge it, but I don't know.
Oh, there's enough to binge.
I was gonna say there's plenty, but
there's 12 now, 13.
Is it really?
I actually just ordered, I think, book 13.
Yeah, I keep buying them too, so I own them. I just haven't gone to like read them.
Yeah, I didn't think, I was like skeptical, and I was like, oh, I don't want to read the Turn Into Power arc again.
I know,
after a while,
God.
but it was worth it, and I like couldn't put him down.
Yeah,
and then suddenly you're into the next arc, and you're like, what? This is cool. And I got like newfound respect for like Toyotaro's writing.
Really?
So
because for me, like since I haven't read it yet, I just see him as the guy who copied a lot of drawings from Toriyama.
Yeah, I do believe he's embodied
the spirit
Goku.
of it.
Yeah, I think
okay.
the character, some people like criticize it, but like I'm one of those people. I feel like a lot of people lie when they say that they've actually read Dragon Ball. I don't think they have, because
right.
Goku the character is lighthearted and kind of.
Even
dumb.
The anime didn't capture him 100% how Toriyama wanted him to, so.
Yeah, and I think Toyotaro is staying really true to that, and like the jokes and the gags and stuff feel very Toriyama to me, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. I enjoyed it. It was nice.
Nice. Well, at this point, it's like a running gag that I won't read it just in spite because Randy wants me to. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. But again, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me on this. Do you have anything you want to plug, like a Twitter account or anything?
No.
You don't want to?
I mean, if I was,
don't find me.
Mean, I have. I mean, if you guys know who YummyPixels is, I mean, I have a YouTube and all that stuff, but I'm kind of on a indefinite hiatus of reviewing things, so you can follow me on Twitter. I'm fun to talk to. Yeah,
at least follow on Twitter and follow that whole Broli escapade where her life-size statue. I can't wait for you to get that. That's going to be amazing.
I know. I'm very excited.
Oh, I can't imagine you. That's going to be a high. All right, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Because I hated this movie. I loved it when it first came out as a high school teenage boy. Hated it as I was like, this is just what made Dragon Ball Z have a bad name with like big muscly guys and huge hair. This is what people think about. And then back to like, no, I see what they're trying to go for, and I can appreciate it for what it is.
Oh yeah, totally.
But still, this movie made me want to watch the new Broli movie 10 times more. I'm like, let me get to this movie that I undoubtedly love so much.
Right. Yeah, it did the same thing for me. I'm like, I'm liking this, but I'm just reminded how much I love the Super Broli movie.
It's so hard to not try and compare it to that one, but it's so hard when that Broli was just done so right. Like all the story elements that this movie tries to do, I feel like the new Broli movie nails. Like it totally, it makes you empathize with Broli. It makes you see that Broly's father is an asshole. Like it's not like, but you see why he's an asshole. But you're still on side with him. You still, you still see why he's petty, but you understand, and it's just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's super good.
Yeah, super. I gotcha.
Super good. I got it. Legendary
Super, Dragon Ball Super, Heroes.
before we keep going off the rails with more name puns, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back to hear what you guys, the listeners, had to say about this movie. I'm really excited.
Cool.
Hey, we're back, and it's that special time where we get to hear what you guys, the listeners, had to say about our topic for today.
Movie 8, baby.
Movie 8. This is apparently a very big deal for people because we have quite a few responses, so this is very fun.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll open it up here from Shu, at @FootlongShu. Shu, thank you very much. Shu says, a controversial one to be sure, but I look back on it as one of the more well-written Z movies. Broly is a particularly iconic movie villain for a reason, whether I like it or not. Also, it has Burning Fight, the best movie ending, so there's that.
Yeah, Kageyama always slaps. But yeah, that's what I was saying with like the story. It feels like it's got really good writers, but the execution just still wasn't done that well. But it really does feel like they were going for a more unique story than any other movie has done. Any other Dragon Ball movie has done.
Oh yeah, they definitely like put more thought into it. It's not just a bad guy show up, we fight bad guy loses, we win thing.
Not a rehashing of old villains like Dr. Slug. What is it?
Dr.
Slug? Now I can't even remember his name.
Lord Slug.
I know it's like something like Master Slug. I don't know. Fuck him.
Yeah. No, it's
Slug-sama.
not just like... Yeah, it's not, I've showed up and I want to rule the world. It's like, I have a specific goal. I mean, ruling the world is a part of it, but...
It goes into trauma and just like the more Saiyan backstory. It's really cool.
It definitely is a step up from what the more recent movies have been. So I definitely appreciate it for that.
Yeah, and introducing a new Saiyan is just... That was monumental at that time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we hadn't had a new one since Tullus, but, like, this one is
even
very
that,
cool.
Which is like a parallel of Goku. It didn't feel... I don't know. It felt like, because he looked so much like
this
Goku...
This is all new.
It felt like alternate timeline type stuff where it wasn't real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all new, all different, which is very, very cool. And we've, touched on, like, there's a legendary Super Saiyan that shows up every 1,000 years. So it's cool, like, what if that one is still a thing and neither of our main characters are it?
Yeah, that was a cool concept, but before they like drill that into the ground with like throwing Bardock in there and then making us question what is a legendary Super Saiyan. But yeah, it's still cool at the time.
Yeah, it's neat. Another one here from Estevan Hatfield at LivingZombie00. Thank you, Estevan. Says, as much as Broly gets flack, it's got some solid moments. The close-up Kamehameha, Paragus getting crushed, and a solid dub. There's a reason most people remember the legendary Super Saiyan. I will admit in the end being lackluster, though. Gotta love that Toei punch.
Yeah, exactly. That fucking Toei punch. But yeah, that close-up, I was geeking out while we were watching the movie when that close-up Kamehameha came. Like, yep, this is the moment that, like, nailed it for me. And I was just a gushing fanboy at the time when I was watching it. It was so good.
Oh, yeah. It's so cool. It's so well drawn. And then it's just... you expect it to have some sort of impact, but Broly's still just standing there like, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, that was iconic. And I do feel like the dub of this was also pretty decent, too. Like, I don't remember it being horrible or anything. I remember it being solid, and yeah, it was good.
I don't think I've seen a bit of this movie dubbed, so...
I think also the dub has, I think, like, Disturbed. I don't know if... I think I said that for movie 5, but I think I'm confusing it with this one. I think this is the one that had, like, actual rock bands from the US playing as a soundtrack. And yeah, I didn't like rock at the time, and so it introduced me to those bands, and I liked it fit well with this, I think.
Right. They were, especially because it is kind of like a balls to the wall good action versus not great.
I feel like that's what was lacking actually in this Japanese version was the music. The music was typical Dragon Ball stuff, but I feel like it needed something more or new.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
an insert song would have been nice.
An insert song would have been nice, or just a different feeling to it. I don't know. It really felt like it was, I keep rehashing it, but I feel like it's a good writer that wanted to write their story, but they were stuck with writing it to Dragon Ball. And so they were limited by the confines of what they had to, stick within.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the music really could have elevated it some more, if they would have done something a bit different, set some different moods.
Exactly, yeah. Because this movie has moods. Like, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They just didn't play up on it too much.
John Rogers at MagicBox67 says, I admire Koyama's attempt to write a deeper story with mystery elements, and while he doesn't pull it off as well as I'd hope, Kikuchi's music and especially Yamauchi's direction turn it into something worth enjoying. The buildup of tension as the comet draws near is well done.
Okay, I kind of half agree with that. Like, again, the writing, yes. But like I said before, the comet doesn't feel like a threat to our heroes because of how superpowered they are. It definitely looks awesome, and it's drawn super well where you do feel like it's humongous. But you got these super being humans, Saiyans that are just, it never felt like an actual threat.
Right. Even if they don't have a spaceship, Goku is right there and he can instantaneous movement them all away. So it's...
I can kind of like disregard that because that technique is still rather new. So I don't think people would think of it too well. No, they did kind of show it off early on.
Yeah, and even if you can't get everybody, I mean, it's Dragon Ball. He'll get himself out, and then he'll go wish everybody back.
Well, I think I can't excuse it because of that, because it's new within the story confines, and they introduced it in the beginning to show that Goku goes from like to Earth to Kaio, and then to Kaio to the other planets, because then it's going to come back at the end. It's Chekhov's gun. It's going to come back at the end to save him. So it was good that they introduced it then. So I think it pans out because it wasn't instantaneous movement. Instant transmission wasn't so diluted how it is now to us watching it so many times in Super and in the Buu saga. It wasn't used that much, so it does feel like a surprise. Oh yeah, he's got that move, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's true. But I pretty much agree here with John on all points. We've got Julie at JulieYBM. Thank you so much, Julie. Says, gorgeous film, and one of the first signs that Yamauchi Shigeyasu has a grand career ahead of him. His directing only got better in these films, and I wish he would return to Dragon Ball now. I'm not sure what he's up to nowadays. I did not look that up when I was researching for
You don't have his number? Check up on him?
No, let me... Boop, boop, boop. Hey, yeah, what's up?
He blocked you, remember?
Oh.
You called him too much.
That's right, I did, and this was very much just a gag
you kept
I was
bugging
doing.
him to draw more Trunks without a shirt on, and he just got fed up.
Yeah, that is what happened.
That's a good Trunks, though, man. That was my wallpaper. That was my wallpaper for a long time because it was one of the free wallpapers on DBZ.com. And I was like, "That's cool. He looks so awesome."
That's it's very nice of you to have like a shirtless Trunks up on your wall. You know.
Listen,
very comfortable in your sexuality. It's good.
am. I'm a straight man, but I can appreciate a sexy man body all day, and he has one in this movie and the next one.
Oh yeah, I mean Trunks is the hotness. He's here for that purpose.
Yeah.
And also in this movie, he does a lot of yelling at Vegeta, like, "This is a bad idea. Hey, Dad, bad idea."
Yeah, but of course,
Captain
Vegeta has
Bummer
to be Vegeta.
over here.
Captain Bummer.
Ashley Denoa at LFCAD. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley says, love the little things in this movie, like Krillin singing karaoke, drunk Muten Roshi, the lore, and Chi-Chi preparing Goku for an interview. I think this movie gets undeserved hate because of the Broli boom afterwards, and the shedding of his character in the other Broly Z movies. Yeah. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, he says it's Kakarot, and he just screams and punches things. He talks more, and he has other things in this movie than later ones.
I think that's why I loved it when I first saw it, then didn't later on. I think because of the fandom boom and how it was perceived afterwards. I think it had less to do with the movie and more about how fans were reacting towards it, or even non-fans who just know Dragon Ball and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But then I come back and realize, no, the movie itself is good. It's just the fandom that it encompassed.
Right. I mean, you see a big wall of muscle and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they're just punching each other. That's all that this is.
Are so many great moments, like the first half of the movie, like he said, it was just the interview, the karaoke stuff, and yeah, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, followed up by some really rad action, so there's more to it than just that second half, guys.
Yeah, I really wish the action took place on Earth though, like with the pink trees and everything, the sakura blossoms. That would have been a lot more aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Yeah, we've got at Real Rider Nexus. Thank you very much. Says, a huge step up from movie 7, but I think it could do with a bit of trimming to help the pacing. Also one of the few movies I can't watch dubbed for a few reasons. So we've got some people who love the dub, some people who can't stand it, which that's cool. Everybody's got their own thing. Yeah, that's fine.
Totally. But yeah, that's what you were saying, is that the pacing would have been better if it was cut a little more short.
Yeah, absolutely. I think either give it more time for all this stuff to breathe or, trim some of the fat, kind of streamline it a bit. This is like the longest one, but like still not long enough, or it is too long.
The story that was written demanded to be longer. But yeah.
Thankfully, I mean, they got a second chance at it down the road, and then they made a longer movie, and it's...
Can't wait to get to that one.
God, can we just skip ahead and just watch it right now? It's so good.
After seeing this one, I'm like, I want to see the new Broli movie just to get that goodness in my veins.
This will be still relatively fresh in our minds by the time we get to that one. So.
Yeah, true.
That's fine.
But yeah, the dub is the one I think of when I see this movie. It's the one I think of as well, because that's what I watched when it came out. I was still a dub fan back then, primarily.
I hope that you're having a good time watching these in Japanese.
Me?
I know that you're a big fan of the Japanese already, but sometimes our nostalgia is powerful, and we're like,
I don't know. My mom did just buy me a Majin Vegeta muscle shirt that all the edgelords have that are like, I'm training to beat Kakarot, so I might be a dub fan now.
Really?
Yeah, bless my mom. She just got me a shirt that's had Dragon Ball on it, and she's like, "Oh, my son likes Dragon Ball." I was like, "Thanks, Mom. I love it."
Yeah.
Instead, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is everything I hate."
I mean, can I share a bit of a story here?
Yeah, this is a podcast, of course.
So, I hate Funko Pops. Most Funko Pops.
Too.
Very few are good. Most of the time, they're just dead-eyed things that I don't like.
Yes, there's one of like Goku and Vegeta eating food, and that one's the only one that I think is actually cute.
I've got one of like Gabumon, and it's cute because I mean, like, I don't know, he's a Digimon. The very first gift my husband ever gave me when we were first like getting together, was a Super Saiyan Goku Funko Pop. And I'm course. Like, I'm crushing on you super hard, so I definitely want to be like very happy with this. But I'm like, it's the thing I hate the most.
I hate it so much, dude. Now that I'm like trying to like be on TikTok and like I'm trying to connect with other Dragon Ball figure collectors on there. They all have Funko Pops, and they all love them, and I'm not saying anything. I'm just inside. I'm just like, I hate Funko Pops.
Right. We're not going to yell it in somebody's face like, I hate this and I hate you for it. But
you love it. If you love it, that's all that matters. So it's just for me, I just don't want that a part of my collection at all, because I think they look like atrocious fucking alien beings. And it's one of the main reasons why I know I feel like an idiot saying it, but I told my friends, you know what? If you're thinking about getting me a gift, don't get me anything Dragon Ball related. That's
I'm very specific.
I know you're gonna make a mistake, and
I know that it's the thought that counts.
It is a thought that counts totally. So because some of them ignore me when I say that, and they still give me Dragon Ball gifts, and they're gifts that I don't like, but to their face I'm like, this is great, thanks. But nope, I've gotten it's unfortunate how picky I am with that stuff, but no, it's totally the thought that counts, and I don't tell them that I hate it. It's just.
Absolutely. I did not throw that Funko Pop in my future husband's face. I was very happy for it, and I still have it. It's still on a shelf because it's important to me.
Yeah, sentimental value in that aspect.
Moving on to our very last one from Pancheesy. Thank you, Pancheesy. You know this person.
Yeah, I love that dude. Oh man, he's great. He's a figure collector, and he doesn't collect Funko Pops.
Oh, hey, we found a kindred spirit, Pancheesy. That's great.
He's got a YouTube channel that he does, and he does the best figure poses. Like oh my god, it's amazing. You need to check out his YouTube channel.
Shout out and plug to Pancheesy.
Please.
Pancheesy says it has quite possibly the sickest aura power-up sequence of all time, and he has an included gif of when Goku's at max power and he stops Broly's fists, and then
he's up against the wall and like the aura just bursts like forward. Yeah, like the forward bursting aura. We've never seen that before.
I've
it
always
looks so cool.
Yeah, it says, I've always been mesmerized by the raw amount of power just jettisoning itself out of Goku's body at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
Eviscerating rock and earth that could have laid stagnant for billions of years. LOL.
Totally, dude. Totally.
It is sick. It's one of the coolest. I just keep watching this GIF. It's so cool. The way the hair flaps.
You feel the power.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good shot.
God, it's good. Oh, man, what a good movie. Even though it's not the best, we still like it. I go back and watch it. It's good.
Like you said, A for effort. It was good.
A for effort, A for creativity, C+ for sticking the landing.
Yeah, and like S+ for how fucking beautiful it looks.
Damn right. God, so good.
Mm-hmm. I'm reserving my S++ for the new Broli movie, of course, but
of course we'll get there. So, Doug, it's your favorite part. It's trivia time.
Oh, nice. I like trivia.
So these ones I think are good. There's no numbers, no bullshit, and hopefully you'll like it.
No dates or anything?
No. I mean, you kind of have to know some period of time for this first one.
Okay.
The
moral arc.
Yeah, no. This movie, Dragon Ball Z Movie 8, is one of 2 that were the first Dragon Ball movies to ever be released on Blu-ray. What was the other one?
What? No way. In America? Or ever?
Ever.
On Blu-ray.
And it was in America, but...
I was just like, because I don't feel like Japan did Blu-rays for another few years, maybe like a decade later.
Right.
It was the Broli movie that came out for... I collected DVDs too. They were like one of the first things I collected. I don't recall. So it was this one and 2 other ones?
It was this and one other movie.
Oh, one other one? That's the BoJack one.
No, it was not the BoJack one.
No, what is it then? I don't know.
It is movie 10, the Broly's Second Coming.
Oh, really? It's like a dual set?
Yeah, it was actually a double feature of just the 2 of those, and it was kind of their first thing to be like, do people want this on Blu-ray? And then it sold really well, so they're like, we're going to do the sets, the dual pack sets with like movies 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6.
Oh, they did do that too. I didn't buy those because they looked ugly with just because it was just the covers of the DVD ones.
Yeah, the box art was bad.
Yeah, it was just like side by side. It wasn't like a meshing of the 2 or anything yet.
Yeah, but that was the first 2. It came out as a double pack.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
it wasn't the steelbooks or anything. That came afterwards, or were those?
That was later.
Not even a Blu-ray.
Right? Did the Blu-ray come out in steelbooks? Because I have the DVD steelbooks, but I didn't have a Blu-ray player at the time.
I think they did, and they were like kind of grayish. I think I did own those Blu-rays.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's what came out after that first experiment. So
gotcha. Yeah, and if anything, marketing wise, Broli was the one to do it. That's the one.
Yeah,
iconic one,
big time. Speaking of Broli, our second trivia question: what is the first video game to include Broli?
Damn, some like Game Boy Advance game, like Takaetsu.
Taiketsu, I think is what it was.
I never owned that one, so
me neither. And no, wasn't that?
Did that come after Legacy of Goku 2?
Yes.
So is Goku Legacy 2 the correct answer?
No, it is not. It is a 2, though.
Nah, is it like just Dragon Ball Z 2?
No, it's before that.
Oh, Super Daiketsu. I don't know, dude. I didn't play anything besides before Budokai 1 for PS2. Everything else was like a mystery to me. I never got around to it.
I was an emulator kid with like fucking English patches of shit, like a hacker
sure
man.
You weebo.
The first time that Broly was in a game was in Super Butoden 2 for the Super Famicom.
That's the word I was looking for. Butoden. That's the
which did come out here on 3DS. As like a pre-order bonus for another game, which is wild.
It was attached to another game or something.
Yeah, I believe it was that one fighter for the 3DS that by Arc System Works.
I think I own it, but I never actually opened it and played it. But
Extreme Butoden? No,
I think that's the one. It's something about. I think it had a Japanese name.
Yeah.
But regardless, wasn't that playstyle like already outdated by the time the 3DS was out? So
kind of, sorta.
Any interest in really getting around to it, but I don't know.
Super Butoden 2, yeah, it's actually the first one to ever include any movie characters. So it had Broly and it had BoJack and Zangia in it. So
weird.
Yeah, some wild stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it's hot during the time, then might as well put it out in the game.
Exactly.
Get the buzz going for the game.
Yeah, it's just marketing sense. That's corporate synergy for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it, man. I guess we'll wrap
Nailed
it up. Yeah, another one in the bag.
Nice.
Thank you everybody for listening. We love interacting with you, keeping you in the conversation. Thank you for sending in all those responses. It's really, really great. You can, of course,
super awesome.
You can, of course, tweet at us at WeGotAPod. You can email us at WeGotAPod@gmail.com.
Has anyone ever emailed us? I feel like that's such an archaic way to contact us.
I think it is, and nobody has. So be the first.
You're like waiting for like an official company to email you, like, Randy, we've got a sponsorship for you.
I walk on over to that email inbox at the end of the road, like, oh boy, somebody send me something. Oh,
so if someone out there listening just wants to send us an email to that, just an email, just to say hi,
do it.
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
but what I would like you to do instead of that, if you could, listener, tell a friend about this show. Tell them that you like it. Tell them why you like it. Encourage them to listen, because that'd be great. It'd be really nice
if you do like it. No pressure.
Of course. I mean, if you got to this point at the end of the episode, hopefully you liked it. Otherwise, like, do something better with your time.
Yeah, I can't imagine you would stick around if you weren't somewhat enjoying this, which I really do appreciate.
Yeah. If you could do that, otherwise you could also pressure Doug to read the Dragon Ball Super manga. We have a new form, man.
That's an easier pressure for them to do to me.
There's a new transformation.
Oh, I've heard about it. It's hard to not hear about that.
Right.
Like a no eyebrow kind of Vegeta. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Man. That was the one thing about the transformation of Super Saiyan 3 that I did not like, and there it is again.
And now here it is. It's
but
back.
Doesn't it make sense, though, because it's like going more primitive, like primal, like their ape form?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reigning thing. I mean, we got one page of it, and we'll learn more next month. So
that's kind of cool. I kind of appreciate that then.
Yeah. Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track, Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find his other great tracks by Rifti on his SoundCloud, so definitely give that a check.
Check that out.
Thank you to our sponsors. Doug, you got anything you want to plug?
Nah.
All right.
You can find me at your Dog on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and just call me that if you see me on the road. Dog.
That sounds good.
You just call me Doug.
You can catch me on Twitter at Saber_Breaker. I actually do have something new to plug here. Just came out today.
A new boyfriend? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, I got so many.
How many plugging?
Just came out today as of the recording, new Manga Mavericks podcast, the podcast called Another Day, Another Adventure, which is a Dragon Ball podcast done by a couple of dudes named Colton and Sakaki. New episode just came out. We talked about Dragon Ball episodes 17 through 19. They're doing the show from start to finish and just talking about a few episodes every show. So they were very nice. They asked me on and I got to talk about that. It was great. We talked about some training before the 21st Budokai. It was great. It's fun.
You can finally, as you're watching the series, you're rewatching the series, you can actually talk to someone about it.
Exactly. That's kind of why. He was like, hey, I saw that you're rewatching the series. You want to talk about these episodes? I was like, hell yeah, I do.
By the time you and I get to it, it'll be like out of your mind already.
I mean, that's then another excuse to watch it again.
That's true. And down in the line in the future.
Heck yeah. Thanks again, everybody. Please subscribe, tell your friends, post a review. It super helps us out. Hang in there, be cool. I think about this. I heard it in another podcast. I'm just gonna start dropping that at the end. Wear a mask, get vaccinated, and
oh my god, please.
We'll talk about movie 9 next time. Some BoJack. He'll be unbound this time.
Awesome. Stay legendary, guys.